Bank Studio. Welcome into the chat. T, how we doing, my man?
I got to give you your props, GB. You remind me of like a DJ at like a wedding reception. It's like, oh, yeah.
Come on, get on the floor
what
now.
it is. Get on the floor, everybody. Cha-cha now, y'all.
Make some noise. The official Mr. and Mrs. Thomas.
Yay. And then there's someone in the back saying, Miss Thomas, run for your life. He's crazy.
I officiated a wedding in Mexico last spring.
Oh, I remember.
And when I crushed it,
yeah,
humbly,
of course.
But I would say I crushed it.
Of course.
Laughs.
Yes.
Heartfelt
you were
messages.
tight with the couple,
good stories.
right?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I was there the night they met.
Right.
All intertwined.
Yeah.
They met in Joplin, then we're in Puerto Vallarta. But then at the end, then I was like, let me now introduce you to the Mr. and Mrs. And in my head, I'm like, don't be a sports announcer.
Why not?
And I butchered their last name.
Oh.
Didn't butcher it. It's Ewing, but I was like, I almost said the groom's first name wrong. I'm completely putting him out here, but he wouldn't mind. His name's Gannon, but I just messed up and I almost said Ginnon. I don't know why. Yeah. But you know what? Never as bad as you think it is.
Well, it was also, you gave yourself a mental yip there.
Yeah.
If you had just embraced.
And just done it.
Yes.
Who cares?
Which is exactly how you bring us in here.
Sprinkle my flavor on it.
Boston Has Entered the Chat, and we appreciate it. We love it about you, bro. Lean into it, bro.
I should moonlight as like a wedding MC.
Bro, you've officiated a wedding. Yeah. That's not a common thing. That's a rare thing that you've done. I personally, I think it should be part of your brand.
I actually think I'm going to start officiating weddings.
I think you should.
Again, another wedding I went to, I was in.
Yeah.
I find out after, like it was just a random guy was there officiating, which is like fine. He got paid like $400 or $500.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
This is a business if you want it to be.
Dude, imagine on like a Saturday, you have a ceremony at 3, a ceremony at 5, and then a ceremony at 8.
Right. You just come in.
Or whatever, at like noon and 5, yeah.
Oh.
That's it.
Well, if you're going to do that, which I think it's a great business model, you have to lean in to the sports broadcaster part. You have to. Because that's part of the package. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You got to lean in.
Oh, yeah.
If I ever get married again, you're my guy.
Same here. I haven't been married yet, but
yeah. I could get married 4 or 5 times, so there could be an opportunity for you to make a lot of cash.
Hey, homeboy discount, $0, $0.99, free $99.
Let's go.
Because you're my guy.
Let's go. That's what's trending in my life.
You know what's the best way to get paid? College basketball.
Wow.
So we're going to get into it. Let's go to what's trending. You guys know it, 3 minutes per topic. Throw up the 3-minute timer on the screen as well. So college basketball's number one prospect, a Massachusetts native from Brockton, A.J. Dybantsa, committed to BYU. Everyone's going, what?
Huh?
Number one, you see right there, Jeff Borzello with the news that he broke himself on First Take. First 5-star recruit in the modern recruiting era. He chose Kevin Young and BYU over Alabama, North Carolina, and Kansas. Again, first 5-star recruit in the modern era to commit to BYU. I'll cut to the chase here. I normally like to save it for the end. $7 million in NIL reported.
Of course.
$7 million. Cooper Flagg got under $3 million.
Yeah.
This kid got $7 million.
Well,
he was going to prep school out in Utah. I don't think it's that
well,
important.
he moved around too.
He was from Brockton, went to prep school in
Mass.
In California. Well, he did prep in Mass.
St. Sebastian's.
Prep in California.
Prep
then
in
Utah.
California and Napa, and then ended up in Utah.
Yeah.
So he moved around.
$7 million.
You know, doesn't this kind of feel like deja vu with the Juan Soto stuff in a sense? Think about this. Juan Soto played the system the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Moved around, sort of mercenary-ish, and got to the bag. This kid and other kids are going to follow the same blueprint. You transfer, you move around. High schools, whatever it takes.
Oh, yeah.
If you got to go across the country like this kid,
already in the books.
Whatever you need.
Yeah.
Move around, work the system, get to the bag. I mean, you talk about that NIL money. How about the brands? We just talked about your brand. How about the brands? Red Bull, Nike. I mean, this is incredible stuff. And just like the Soto, that's why I make the comparison. When we talk about all the cash that he got, it's only going to go up. These athletes see the blueprint of how to get to the bag, how to get to the Brinks truck, and they are following it, okay? Yeah. And that's what this kid did. Now, I love his game, but I also love his mentality. He was asked, kind of describe your game. And he said, well, I'm a combo of Tracy McGrady and SGA. Like, wow. Humbly, he said it, but, I mean, the kid's got game, and he's well aware of how much game he has.
Drove up that to $7 million. And BYU, not the worst landing spot. The head coach there now, Kevin Young, he started in the G League as a coach in 2007, broke into the NBA on a bench with the 76ers in 2016. He was with the Suns until he got that job.
Wow.
You have NIL money. You have that type of coach leading the way that's developed NBA talent.
Yeah.
You get a five-star like Dybantsa, then it's just going to keep going from there.
You know where I'm going to go here because I've asked you this about football.
Yeah.
But if you're him,
yeah,
I know you ain't going to BYU.
Hell no.
You getting the money. You're getting your $7 million regardless. Where
Yeah.
are you going? Basketball school.
UNC,
Tar Heel.
Kansas. You know,
The usual suspects.
where would you go?
I would probably go a little different. My football answer is the same for basketball. I'm going to UT Austin.
I would go to Texas too.
I'm going UT
That'd be
Austin
lit going
because
to
that's a
Texas.
basketball school too.
That's a thing too.
Horns up.
$7 million in Utah. That's not fun.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, how you figure?
You can't drink Diet Coke.
Okay, but
You can't drink coffee.
You can get a cabin in the mountains with the snow around you. That's not a bad. That's good living.
Next topic.
Park City, Utah. I hear it's beautiful. I've never been.
All right, hold on. If you're getting $7 million, you're not touching a ski or a snowboard. You're not going up in the mountains.
What do you mean? He's in Utah. Of course he is.
Yeah, fair. Actually, fresh air
Of
up there
course he
good.
is. They
Caleb-
call that fresh pow.
Pow pow.
Pow pow.
Shreds ear. That's what you do, man.
That's what you do.
That's what's up, man. I can't wait to hear your snowboarder voice. Work on it. Caitlin Clark named Times Athlete of the Year.
Yeah.
I can't argue it.
No.
She literally took the sport of women's basketball to new heights in college and in the WNBA.
Preach.
Had her tough start to her rookie season with Indiana, then took off second half of the year. Like, sole reason Indiana got into the playoffs, let's start there, on top of dominating, where her bread and butter is scoring.
Yes.
But she was one of the best assist artists in the league.
Yep.
Sick time cover, as you guys see there on your screen. To me, it's 2.4 million people watched the WNBA draft because of her.
Of course.
2.5 million people watched her playoff games because of her.
Yep.
Well, the WNBA finals that they weren't in got 1.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
She put that entire league and that entire sport
Yep.
on new heights, on new levels, because the amount of attention she was getting, and she understood the role and the gravity of her presence as well.
Man, that's well said. I would even look. I don't think she struggled early in her rookie season with Indiana. You know what I think it was, if you remember. I mean, it was like a vigilante. Like they were just trying to take her out. And if anything, I would say what I took from that time period is that she is tough as nails.
Oh yeah.
Like, to me, that almost adds to her rookie year, which she was getting the hell beat out of her. She kept getting back up, and she got better. To your point, later in the season, the statistics started improving, and they started winning. But even early in that rookie season, just her getting the beat out of her and getting back up over and over again, and still not getting involved in any extracurriculars. She just kept hooping. I admired that. And I look at what she's done, and you talked about her effect. I agree. But I even have to give some props to Angel Reese here, because now, particularly in the WNBA, you almost have a Bird and Magic effect. You have two dynamic rookies with different games, different personalities, bringing all the attention and that rivalry now baked in as well. So I want to give Angel Reese some props there. But Caitlin Clark, if you told me she's athlete of the year for Time and Kendrick Lamar is person of the year for Time, it would make sense, because
They
Kendrick,
own the year.
Literally, Kendrick and Caitlin own 2024.
What was cool reading in the article too, she said, I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is a privilege, because she knows the way she's portrayed in the media is different than in Angel Reese and all the black women that have built the league up. A lot of those players in the league a lot of those players in the league that have been here before have been black players. This league has been built on them. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. She understands her role. Mm-hmm. She understands how good she is. Mm-hmm. And like with the media and everything, like took everything on the chin.
Yeah.
Never complained, never cried, just showed up and played like you said.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season, it was like the game was, she was rushing. Eventually when she just got comfortable.
Yeah, settled. Yep.
Yeah. And then on top of the defense, which the attention was still there as well, man, from every spot.
And this, by the way, this is the rare cover that she's going to do. She doesn't do a ton of commercials. She doesn't do a bunch of layouts in magazines. Yeah. She just works on her game.
Yeah. All right, Brandon Graham walking back his comments about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, saying, quote, "I made a mistake." So to set it up, He was doing a radio show in Philly, and he was asked about A.J. Brown complaining in the media about the passing game. When he was asked, A.J. Brown, like, what does the Eagles offense need? He goes, passing. We don't pass a ton. Brandon Graham on the radio said, quote, the person that's complaining needs to be accountable. I don't know the whole story, but I know that Hurts is trying and Brown could be a little better with how he responds to things. Here's when it got dicey. They were friends before this, but things have changed. Then Brandon Graham said, quote, I made a mistake and assumed it was something that it wasn't. I didn't add to it in a good light, so that's my bad. Is he wrong? And is he saying I made a mistake and assumed something wasn't? I don't think he assumed wrong. I think he knew what he was talking about. The mistake he made was talking about on the radio. He's been in the league for 15 years. Brandon Graham knows better.
I agree. And him walking it back just tells you that it was true.
Yeah.
Look, I've been on radio and WEI on weekends, and I've had people call my show, and they'll say, hey, I caught you on Nesson. You and that guy you're on there with the beard, I enjoy the show. And before they even get to the point of their call, I'll stop down. I'll say, hey, that guy's name is George Balekji. We've been working together, blah, blah, blah. I give like a quick synopsis, and then I go, what'd you want to talk about? I bring that up because, bro, like, you can't put in-house stuff outhouse. Even something as small as whoever you're on TV with, no, you're gonna know his name, okay? You're gonna put some respect on his name. Now, if stuff happens in-house in your locker room, you deal with that as a team, you deal with that as a family. But you can't come from outhouse and start messing with what I got going on in-house. What I'm saying is he violated the ultimate code because this is locker room stuff. This is in-house stuff. What you can't do, bro, especially being a veteran, but it doesn't matter. Veteran, rookie, whoever's. This is a code. You can't go to the media and put this kind of stuff out there.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And that's why he walked it back. Now, unfortunately, he gave us just enough tea where clearly we know Hurts and Brown, they ain't seeing eye to eye.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like, A.J. Brown literally just got paid this offseason.
Right.
So it's not like about the money.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, when you get the ball, it's great. Bro, you're the second best team in MLB. Saquon runs the offense, and that's how it goes. So, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I get it, and it's wide receivers are divas. They want the ball. Issue one is A.J. Brown. You got to be more mature than that. You've been in the league for a while. You're a veteran. What does this offense need? You know what? I think we got exactly what we need. We're winning. Do I want the ball more? Yeah, I'm a wide receiver, but we're winning. That's all you got to say, bro. Because also A.J. Brown, you would not play this good if Saquon Barkley in that run game wasn't there. So it's like A.J. Brown made the mistake, but to your point, exactly like Brandon Graham, what are you saying, man? This second, like, if he wants to call out A.J. Brown for being held accountable, fine. The second he got to, they were friends before this, but things have changed. You don't say that.
Flip side, just saying, devil's advocate.
Smoke fire?
No, well, Jalen Hurts is not great from the pocket. And it does feel like a little bit regression there since Shane Steichen left.
Oh, yeah.
And you have Saquon Barkley having an MVP caliber season, and you're still not very good from the pocket. A.J. Brown may have something cooking here. That's all I'm saying. I can see where there's a rift. That's all I'm saying.
They're winning, man. They're winning.
They're winning.
Right. Patriots are reportedly, quote, going to be all in on Tee Higgins. Now, this is from Chad Graff of the Athletics mailbag. You see the Dove Kleiman bot account tweeting out the quote there. So here's the excerpt on a question about addressing the wide receiver room. Chad Graff wrote, here's an easy guess simply from reading the tea leaves. The Patriots are going to be all in on Tee Higgins. They've shown an interest in established receivers, and Higgins is the best free agent. I expect them to offer him the moon. The question is whether he says yes or no.
Yeah.
They better offer him the moon. They have a projected $132 million in cap space next season. Woo! You know where I go. I'm going to do it right away. Let me put the GM hat on.
Do it.
Tee Higgins will be 26 next season. Will be 26.
Yeah.
So let's say you get him for a 4-year deal. Age 26, 27, 28, 29
Prime.
season. Yes. Right before he hits 30. Hey, give him a 4-year deal. First 3 years are real. $120 million total value, $50 million signing bonus, all guarantees up to $75 to $60 million. That's a lot for a Tee Higgins, but that is the price of a wide receiver one. And that is offering the moon because all of that puts him top 5 paid in the league. He's 6'4", 220. Yeah. You don't only stop at Tee Higgins. You draft 2 weapons on the offensive side of this upcoming draft. You better offer him the moon. You better overcorrect because you cannot depend on a Tate McMillan in the draft alone. Let's say if they go that route. You cannot depend on a Jalen Royals later in the draft alone. Tee Higgins is a pro. All the guys coming out of college are prospects. You have to offer him the moon. This is a no duh. report.
It's definitely a no duh. We've been ahead of this. I mean, hell, we were talking
we
about
go
this.
back.
We go back. Yes, off season we were saying trade for him now, but never.
What do we know?
Bygones, bygones.
Elliot Wolf knows better than us.
What do we know? This guy just wears a GM hat every day. But now here we are. No Shaq. Give him whatever he wants. Do whatever it takes to get T. Higgins here. And by the way, I'm not even convinced. And I agree with you. The length of the contract, he would be in his prime. But I'm not convinced he's a number one. I don't really know.
And that's
but
fine.
I'm willing to roll the damn dice because here's what I know definitively.
Yep.
You ain't got a one.
Yep.
Okay, so roll the dice, overpay if you have to. You got the cabbage, burn it. By the way, did you see KJ Osborne?
Oh, yeah.
Was released in a mutual decision. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, mutual of like, look, you guys aren't playing me. Just let me go. And the Patriots going, yeah, you stink, so we'll let you go too. So he got signed 1 year, $3.1 million guaranteed. He played 53% of the offensive snaps, 7 catches, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown in 7 games played. He was supposed to be a veteran. He was supposed to be an adult in the room. He wasn't.
Nope.
This is Elliot Wolf's fault more than KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne is a fine piece on offense. Fine. He's okay.
Yeah.
He can have an impact on a game. Elliot Wolf with an awful miscalculation.
No doubt. No
mutual
doubt.
for sure.
Oh, it's mutual in that the Patriots said, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you on your way out.
Honestly, KJ Osborne was doing him a favor by not doing this sooner.
Facts.
Like, if it wasn't mutual, like if he didn't ask, they probably would have kept him. And like, he could have just not played football.
Yeah.
But he would just keep collecting paychecks from them.
No doubt.
$3.1 million. Good for him. Elliot Wolf. Not good, buddy.
Not good.
All right, want to be a part of the conversation? Tweet at us using the hashtag NESSONChat or email thechat@nesson.com to join the chat. Boston has entered the chat. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. If you're watching on Nesson's YouTube page, hit the subscribe button as well. So, Trav, we know a lot going down in the winter meetings in Dallas. TC's been on the show. Tom Caron, you guys know him as TC of Nesson, is down in Dallas. He actually caught up with Red Sox manager Alex Cora down there. Here's his interview one-on-one. TC and Red Sox manager Alex Cora right here.
All right, AC, a manager from another team told me the offseason began Sunday night when Juan Soto signed. Like, that was when the baseball offseason began. When so much is held up, everybody waiting for that. When it's over, do the talks suddenly get flying again now, like all kinds of possibilities out there?
Yeah, I think it goes fast now. I think teams were ready to pivot after whatever decision he was going to make, and like I said yesterday, we always talk about plan A, B, C. You know what? Forget that. It's plan A, A1, A2, A3. So we prepare. There's different ways to get to a division title, right? Trades and free agency, and obviously player development. So let's see what happens.
It's kind of interesting, right? Like, if we talked at the end of last season, a left-handed bat wasn't necessarily what you needed, except it's Juan Soto, right? I mean, he's just one of those players that wherever he fits in, you'll figure out a way.
Yeah. Unique talent. I mean, the play discipline, the ability to make contact, right? Hit to all fields and hit for average. Actually played some good defense last year. That was part of the conversation with him, how we actually helped Jaren Durant to become a plus defender, and we went deep into that. But at the end, obviously, he made the decision for him and his family. He's going with the Mets. But, we just got to be ready, right? I think we've been talking a lot the last month and a half, so now we got to execute, and hopefully we can do it.
As you move on to the other plan A's, yesterday, Craig Breslow saying, it is time now where I love the way he said we've asked a lot of Red Sox fans the last few years. And now you're talking about trading away some future potential maybe for immediate gains. How exciting as a manager is it that you're at that point again where you're talking about this year, not the future?
Yeah, I think that's a testament of who we are as an organization, what we have done the last few years, and we put ourselves in this position, right? We've been talking about these kids for a while, and now it's time to, like I said before, execute, right? And I think Craig and the group, they're doing an outstanding job. It's nonstop. Yesterday I went to bed at midnight, and they went to bed like at 2 a.m. So, I mean, good for me, just get some rest, But we'll see what happens. We're excited. The fact that we're talking about the now, it means a lot to me. That's the reason I decided to stay here. I think this is a great organization, one that really wants to win, and hopefully we can accomplish that.
Even if you sign Juan Soto, we'd probably be talking about looking for pitching, right? That was really what we're going into. How active are you guys behind the scenes right now on that front?
We're very active, and obviously it's an expensive market. There's some big dogs out there that are going to make a lot of money. And you just got to be smart. The way I see it, it really doesn't matter if you got $10 or $5, how you spend the money, right? Like if you look at a rotation in 18, it was very expensive. You look at a rotation in 21, it wasn't that expensive, but both groups did an amazing job. So we need innings, quality innings. We need a better bullpen. I think little by little we're doing a better job with that. And then health, of course. If we get healthy, we're going to be okay.
To be clear, you're going to spend more than $5 or $10 though.
I mean, if I take you to dinner, yeah, probably more. But yeah, we'll. Well, I don't know.
We won't go there. Yeah, that's not you. Alex Bregman, a lot of talk about him, obviously, but nothing's been done with anyone yet. But you know the player. Tell us what Alex Bregman would bring to any team.
Just professionalism. There's a kid that, at LSU, he was a leader. With Houston, he was a leader. If you think about it, everything we went through, right? We made a huge mistake in 17, and we paid the price. And if you see him, the way he has led that organization since the whole thing came out, it's been amazing. And he's a good player, good kid. His family is amazing, and he's one of those guys that any team will love to have in their lineup.
And any team that's talking about him is talking about where he'll play. You were pretty clear yesterday. There's no plan in place to move Rafael Devers off third base.
No. And we were very clear with the guys that we have talked. First things first, out of respect of Rafi, right? We're not going to talk to third basemen and not tell Rafi this was going on. When we recruit guys, we recruit them because of the athleticism and the versatility. And then after that, we make decisions. But Rafi Devers is our third baseman.
Vaughn Grissom was the youngest player on the roster at the end of the season. It's almost easy to forget how young he is.
Yeah, and how good of a player he is. I think last year, he gets hurt in Puerto Rico, then he got hurt again in spring training. He got sick, and he lost 15 pounds, and he pushed through it. He tried, right, and he got hurt again. I think player development did an amazing job in AAA, kind of like helping him out with the offensive part of it, with the defense, and we saw him the last week. He played well, so we haven't given up on him. There's a guy that it was a big part of a big trade, right, and obviously last year Chris did his thing over there, and hopefully Vaughn can do it over here in Boston.
All right, I'll ask you finally, you said there's been a lot of talk, but that's what we do at the winter meetings. We talk. So what do you say to Red Sox fans about hanging in there to see what develops this winter?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from experience, the talks with the agents and other organizations, other managers, it's refreshing. People know what's coming. They know where we at as an organization, but let's get back to it. We have to execute.
Great combo between TC and Alex Cora. Thanks, TC, as always. Everything he's doing down in Dallas. Jumped out to me, man, the comments about Rafi Devers, the comments about Alex Bregman, and the comments about Vaughn Grissom.
Let's get into it.
Because I've been someone that's been, go get Alex Bregman. He's a leader. He's versatile. You can play him at second base. You can play him at third base. Move Rafi to first. But those comments of they're being very clear out of respect to Rafi. And he ended it. Rafi Devers is our third baseman. They're going to keep Rafael Devers, the face of the clubhouse, the face of the ball club right now at third. I think because of his defensive limitations, where we've just seen him like routine plays, he just can't make them. He'll make great plays, and the routine plays he lets to go by. I would like a Bregman at third, but that commitment to Rafi at third, and then the mention of Vaughn Grissom, who, again, was a part of the Chris Sale trade, was one of the top prospects for the Atlanta Braves, is an MLB second baseman. The injuries he had before the season, that illness that he just mentioned where he lost 15 pounds, give that guy a full offseason, then all of a sudden, I mean, if you have second base figured out, you have third base, you have Rafi. We'll see what happens at shortstop between Trevor Story, Ceddanne Rafaela. That could change a lot of what they do with this free agency pursuit alone. And, hey, that could shift the focus, man, to a lot of pitching. Corbin Burns, Max Fried, who at the moment right now, recording this podcast, Max Fried hasn't signed anywhere. Corbin Burns hasn't signed anywhere. There's been the Ken Rosenthal reports, though, that Fried is down to the Yankees, Red Sox, and Blue Jays.
I love hearing that. Another finalist here. The Red Sox are trying to get guys. No one can accuse them of, well, they're too frugal. Well, they're not even getting involved. Yes, they are. Okay, so hopefully that goes through. I agree with everything you said about Bregman. Look, I would think if you're him, you're open to going to second base, first of all, because of Alex Cora. And also because of a word you just used, and I wrote down how many times Alex Cora used this in the interview there with TC. Leader.
Yep.
Leader. So you trust Alex Cora. It's the Red Sox, for God's sakes. You're going to get paid. Yeah, you'd be open to moving to second base. And by the way,
yeah.
the commitment to Rafi at third shows you that this team is smart enough to not rattle that clubhouse. So you bring in a leader in Bregman. You move him to second.
Yeah.
You keep Rafi happy. Your cohesion, your chemistry is all good. No problems, no issues. I love this. And some of this is beyond just bringing them to the Red Sox. I think we have to have we got to zoom out a little bit and look at the broader picture. Think about this. I mean, you just said the teams in the running for Bregman, right? Yankees, Blue Jays. Think about that. These are competitors. These are guys in your division.
Exactly.
Then
all
you look
divisional
at
teams.
then you look at the AL. Period. You want to keep him away from some of these other threats to you. Clear his throat. Astros, because just because he turned down a qualifying offer with them doesn't mean he's leaving.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you could keep him away from them or any of these other contenders in the AL, especially in your division, yeah, it's enhancing your team, but there's also some defense to this, keeping his butt away from some of these other teams who could beat you down the stretch.
Because the Yankees need a third baseman. They need both corners of their infield.
Hello.
And even though he speaks about Vaughn Grissom and still the belief in him, it's that if you bring him in and he's your opening day second baseman, I mean, that's pure. Like, Vaughn, sorry, you're still a prospect.
Yeah.
You're a good player.
Keep working.
That can be a backup.
Yeah.
And Rafi's your third baseman. What does Alex bring? Oh, Rafi, you want a day off? You just want to hit? You want to be a DH? Then Bregman slots in as your third baseman.
And he gets dinged up from time to time, Devers I'm talking about, so you could move him over to third, no problem.
Yeah, and with Bregman, too, good fielder, leader. He's a professional. You need that. What a Justin Turner was for the Red Sox, what a Tyler O'Neill was
knows how to win
for the Red Sox. But if you get an Alex Bregman, it's not a one-year deal for a leader. It would be a 4 or 5 year deal. Now, it could be 20, 30 million a year, 25 to 30 million a year. Maybe he meets somewhere in the middle, let's say 28 million a year. But with this young core, they need leadership in that clubhouse. And Bregman's a guy that is very durable, is always there, is always available.
Yeah.
And everything he does all together could be there.
Okay, GM George, he's 30. What kind of length of this contract are we? You're fine with the AAV. You're fine with the money. What kind of length contract are you offering this guy?
5
4
year.
or 5?
5
Okay.
year. He probably wants 5. He wants one more contract, one more big contract.
Yeah.
He'll still play around after that. And it's more than Alex Bregman now. It's him around Jaron Durant, Sedan Rafaela, even around Rafael Devers. But it's when the Roman Anthonys come up, the Christian Campbells, whether they're playing infield or not. Just the day-to-day, him showing them. What a champion does.
Yeah.
What a leader does.
Yeah.
And you even hear Alex Cora of 2017. He did a great job of handling that. We went through it. And that talking about the trash can scandal, of course, for the Houston Astros. And that's 7 years ago. It'll never, no one will ever let any Astro forget about that, and rightfully so. But he's more than that, is what he's
sure. Yeah. I listen. I love it. And let's also remember this, as I say, zoom out, right? And I bring up some of those competitors who, if Bregman goes to, could come to haunt you when you're trying to get in the postseason. This team, past few years, has been at 500, currently constructed. So you add a Bregman there. I mean,
a righty bat that you need.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And obviously the pitching, which we always talk about. But I'm just saying, you're already close with what you have.
Yeah.
So bringing in a guy like Bregman makes so much sense because literally he knows how to get you over the hump. He's been there, done that, has a T-shirt. He knows how to do it. Alex Cora knows how to do it. This would be a great, not good, great signing for the Red Sox.
Get Bregman, get a Max Fried, trade for a Garrett Crochet.
Come on.
Or a Gilbert out in Seattle. Make a lot of moves. Right now, shoe drops any moment. In the world of podcasting, we're talking about at the moment of the recording.
Facts.
Who has been signed, who hasn't. Yeah. The Red Sox offseason is heating up and the rumors are starting to swirl. We know you have a lot of questions about the Sox future. And we ask the players, coaches, executives, and alumni those same questions on NESN's Baseball Podcast, 310 to Left. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, it's that day of the week. Let's get to the power rankings,
Let's do it.
Who do you got at 10?
Okay, this was tough. 10's always, you know what I'm learning is that we've done this all season now, and I'm starting to see some patterns with myself personally. I don't know if this is the case for you or not. But 10 is always the hardest for me because I have a handful of teams. I'm pretty I'm convicted about like 1 through 9. You know, maybe every now and again I'm a little bit like, I don't know. Maybe this team should be a 7 or an 8. But 10 is always tough because I have a 2 or 3 teams vying for that 10 spot. I'm going Texans here, and it was tough. It was like pulling teeth because I barely took the Texans over the Seahawks, who have won 4 straight, and they look like a playoff team. Geno doesn't lose a game. They run the ball. I mean, Walker was out of the game for the Seattle. Zach Charbonnet comes in and looks like Walker. He looks better.
Workhorse.
So it's like, wow, okay. They play good defense or well coached. They just don't beat themselves.
Yeah.
But I went Texans over them because of 2 things, and it's the most important thing in the NFL these days. Head coach, quarterback. I like the combo better still. I like D'Amico Ryans. I like C.J. Stroud. I do. And so because of that, I still believe in this Texans team. I know you don't. You haven't all year, but I still do. I have them at 10.
I don't believe in their offensive line.
Yeah.
And the amount that
It's hard to.
C.J. Stroud's been pressured.
Yeah.
Step back. They were going to take overall. I put the Broncos at 10. They're coming off the bye. Bo Nix this season, more pass attempts than Josh Allen, Jared Goff, and Justin Herbert.
Go on.
Almost 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His last 6 games, only sacked 10 times.
Yeah.
Over his last 4, just 6 passes beyond 20 yards, though.
Did you want to take this opportunity to apologize to me?
No,
and
I'm not.
Bo Nix's family?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right.
He is what he said he is.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So he stinks.
He's not a great NFL quarterback. He's not good, but he's good in Sean Payton's system. He can't throw the ball further than 6 yards down the field.
Well, that's not what
But
you
Sean
said.
Payton in his system,
Yeah.
I would not
You said
want
he
him.
stunk. I think you owe him an apology.
If you can only work out in a situation 1 of 32, you're not good.
I'm just saying.
But hey, he runs that system well.
I believe you said he sucked.
Hey, I put
actually.
the Broncos in. I put the Broncos in over the man that like goes out of his way to just wreak havoc on Tony Pollard and everything he's done to work back from that awful injury. I put the Broncos over the Texans because that was the Texans team is who I looked at. Do I put them at 10?
Yeah.
It's the offensive line. The Broncos with that defense.
I
What
do
about
get
9?
it. I
Would you
do
have a 9?
get it. I'm going Chargers.
Same.
Look, man, I get it.
Even
you
after
lose
the
to
loss?
Yeah, because
Bro,
I mean, what are you going to do?
ridiculous.
Right. What
I
are you gonna
hated
do?
that game so
Me
much.
too. Who didn't? Imagine how a Chargers fan felt, right?
I don't know any.
Yeah, you do. You know one. Well, there's only one that anyone knows.
Yeah.
I still believe in them. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They don't have the horses, but Harbaugh's doing a great job. They run the ball. Herbert's Herbert. Their defense is playing. They're just tougher. Harbaugh made them tougher. That's what was missing. Competence as a head coach and a tougher team. They have all that now. The talent, they need to keep working.
Yeah.
Certainly receivers. But I like this Chargers team. I can't wait to watch them wild card weekend. Depending on matchup, they could win a playoff game.
Yeah,
they
I
could.
would not be shocked. Lad McConkey, they need him back.
They do.
Been banged up. You see that entire passing game just take a back seat. But even without a J.K. Dobbins, that run game is still good because they've one of the best offensive lines. Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, like those 2 bookend offensive tackles.
Yep.
Both are all world. They've been fantastic for them. So I have them at 9. 8, I have the Ravens.
Yeah.
Coming off the bye, just when you go back on their losses, 7 points to the Chiefs opening night of the season, 3 versus the Raiders where they let the Raiders come back. That was awful.
Terrible.
5-point loss to the Browns where the Browns won on like a last second prayer play.
Yeah.
When really they should have won that because Kyle Hamilton should not have dropped an interception. 2-point loss against the Steelers, 5-point loss against the Eagles. 3 out of those 5 losses against really good teams, 4 out of the 5 against really good defenses. They can lose to anybody, which isn't good, but it's so close to the margins, and this offense is still so great that I just like this Ravens team a lot. I feel like I have them low at 8, but it's at defense. It's a liability.
We do have them low, but I have them at the exact same spot, and I agree with everything you said. The best thing for the Ravens coming out of the bye, you get to go to the Meadowlands and just beat the hell out of the Giants. I mean, that's going to feel great for them. Then you get Pittsburgh at home. You go to Houston to take on my Texans, but the Ravens obviously could win that game. And then you finish the season at home against Cleveland. They should win that game too.
Yeah.
So the Ravens conceivably should have some momentum going into the playoffs. We'll see.
Who do you have at 7?
7, I have the Pack. Go Pack, go, man. Same thing. I predicted a Packers win against the Lions. I was wrong, but I felt after that game like I was right, even though I was wrong. And I had the Packers winning the game. Dan Campbell, again, gambling. I mean, he is playing crap. 7 every time. Eventually, you crap out. Okay, take it from a gambler. But I left that game feeling like everything I like about the Packers is there. I love LaFleur, Jordan Love, the weapons. Defense is inconsistent, but when they play, they play. I still think the Packers can get to the Super Bowl. I got them at 7.
Look, man, you're on the Lions' home turf. You almost beat them in regulation.
Bro, should have won the game.
Absurd. We'll get to the Lions. Just absurd what Dan Campbell did, but like that's his bread and butter. I went NFC North, but I went Vikings in the 7th spot. Feel like I have them low. Look, they're 11-2. They only have 2 losses. And
Darnold's balling.
And those are, I need to look at the Vikings schedule again. Those are probably divisional losses. And Darnold, dude, 5 touchdowns.
That's a thing.
He has 11 touchdowns, no interceptions his last 4. That system, man, it's insane.
It is.
I'm excited to see what J.J. McCarthy looks like. A year sitting, a year learning that system. That redshirt year can help him.
Yeah.
Better arm than Darnold. Better decision maker than Sam Darnold. I'm excited to see what J.J. McCarthy does. But this team right now, number 1 defensive efficiency, turned the ball over a ton.
Yeah, they did.
And with Darnold playing with these weapons around him, now this Falcons team's not good. And that's why I have him at 7. Kirk Cousins stinks. Defense doesn't generate a pass rush. Secondary was getting lost all afternoon long. 42-21. It felt like it was a 50-0 Vikings win, though.
I don't think he's going to win it this season. I agree with you with the Vikings. You have him at 7. I have him at 6.
Yeah.
But, look, I don't think he's going to win it this season, but Kevin O'Connell is going to win a Coach of the Year at some point. He is that good. And that system is that good.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's just an example. Hear me out, people. That's an example of a franchise taking a chance on a young, innovative play caller as a head coach. And, my God, look at where they are like that overnight. Unbelievable. Different personnel at quarterback, doesn't matter. Just saying. Something to think about, Pats fans. Vikings at 6. I keep saying I don't believe in them winning in the playoffs. But the way Darnold's playing, who the hell knows? Maybe they could be in the Super Bowl and we're just idiots and we don't see it. Honestly, they keep winning.
I want to find the receipts when Kevin O'Connell was hired and what the reaction was.
Oh, I'm sure he was. That's an example of someone who just shook Sean McVay's hands and they were like, he's a genius.
He's 36.
Give him the job.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure Vikings fans were like, what are we doing? And now look up.
One of the best head coaches and one of the best play callers by far. 6th, I have the Steelers, man. Beat the Browns down 27-14. That was a fun matchup. But this defense is just, they're number 1 in takeaways, not generating a ton of sacks, but the amount of max protects you're seeing, like 7 blockers, 3 guys running routes. But the depth of this defensive line and pass rush overall, Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, Isaiah Loudermilk. They just have guy after guy after guy, skilled dudes at each level. And what the offense is, Russ, George Pickens does just enough. The head coach of Mike Tomlin. Watch the first episode of Hard Knocks.
So good.
You could tell who gave the most access. And Mike Tomlin had no issue giving access.
I told you.
The way that guy runs meetings, the way that guy is on the sidelines.
Teaches.
The way he talks to players. Like George Pickens making a huge mistake. He's like, look at me. You're good. Pickens is like, yeah. He's like, all right, that's it. Made a huge F up. He's just like, you're good, man. There's a lot of ball game left. It's a leader.
That dude, he needs another Super Bowl, George.
Yeah.
If he can get one, it's a new conversation with him.
Oh, okay.
If he can get one, it's a new Oh, yeah. But I'm saying the conversation.
Yes.
The room that Bill walks in. Yeah, Bill walks in. Andy Reid walks in. Bill Walsh, rest his soul. I think Tomlin needs one more Super Bowl. He's walking in that rarefied air room if he can get it.
Man. He's only 52, too. Looks good.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
If you enjoy football talk, catch Foxborough Rush every Monday for game reactions, Wednesday for draft talk, and Fridays, we're joined by former NFL executive Michael Lombardi, available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Facebook, and Twitch, wherever else you get your podcasts. And if you're watching on the Nesson YouTube page, hit the subscribe button as well. All right, let's get to the top 5.
Yep.
I had Packers at 5.
I respect that.
3-point loss to Lions, and I'll push them up. They went up 3 spots, I'm pretty sure, from my last week's power rankings. Yeah. Even coming off a loss. Look, that run game is so dominant. Mm-hmm. Josh Jacobs was absurd. Jordan Love's just really, really good. End of the day. Take care of the football, he'll be a lot better. But the base and the skill set and all the boxes you want checked for your quarterback are all there. Big mistakes by Christian Watson, and they were still in this game down to last possession. And again, it came down to a 4th and 1, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because Dan Campbell's like, we go for it here. If not, we're going to overtime. Or we're just going to win in regulation at home. The stone's by him.
Yeah.
Where anyone at home will go, we'll play for overtime. He was basically, no, we're playing for the win. This Packers team's really good. And that defense is so aggressive, so talented in the secondary, and good guys in that front seven, man.
No doubt. I went Bills at 5. I know they lost, but I'll be honest with you. I'd rather them sort of lose now and get humbled because they were hotter than fish grease.
Yeah.
And the way they lost, watching that game, you know what it felt like to me, George? It felt like the offseason caught up with them. Because remember, you lose weapons in Diggs and Davis. You lose game-changing guys on the outside. They lost a ton of guys on defense. What were you missing in that game? All the above. And you were also outcoached, which that's another topic for another day. So the Bills, I think losing now helps them. We'll see. Maybe they won't get home field because the Chiefs just keep winning. More on them later, I'm sure, in both of our lists. But even if you don't, you've had a really good season. You see the formula, run the ball, let Josh Allen be Superman. If your defense can just hold up, I think they'll be okay. So I like that they lost now, and I like the way that they lost, too, so they can learn from it.
Yeah. I mean, Rams got up big.
I know.
Too.
I know.
The fact that the Bills are even in this game.
Josh Allen.
I hate that. I was staring at Vikings, I think, -6. Then I saw Bills -3.5. But money line was like only -170. I was like, yeah. They'll absolutely handle the Rams at the line of scrimmage. Should just laid the points with the Vikings, overthought it.
Rams are a dangerous team, bro.
Dude, we saw, I think, over 900 yards of offense total, yeah. Josh Allen and Matt Stafford combined for over 650 passing yards. All those touchdowns and what Josh Allen did as well. After the ridiculous game he had against the Niners to put together the game he had the following week, I mean, just so good. I have the Chiefs at 4. I think my top 4 probably stayed the same. Yes, they beat the Chargers, but they're not good. That offensive line is not good. That defense isn't as good as it was. And you literally went off a doink. Like, you're a foot away from losing to the Chargers, and then everything's blowing up in your faces of like, all right, this team is this bad, where the Chargers offense was kept in check. The defense is good, but the offense can't move the ball worth a lick. And yet Patrick Mahomes, I don't like it. There's no flow. I just don't like what I'm watching this year. I didn't love it last season. I hate it this season. There's a big difference. The tackle play of the Chiefs is a legitimate liability.
You know, it's funny. You put the Chiefs at 4, and you don't like anything that you see. I did the same thing with the Lions. I got them at 4, bro.
The hell?
You know, I'm pretty sure I need some sort of counseling or therapy or something because I was all about the Lions this offseason. Got a Super Bowl ticket for them in my pocket right now that I hope I cash. As the season has gone on and they have won games, the later we get in the season and the more this damn gambling I see from Dan Campbell, the more I'm convinced they're not gonna get it done. I'm telling you, I'm a sicko. I believed in them. All they've done is win, and I'm off of them. It's weird. I don't buy it. I think the Eagles can beat them in the NFC, and damn it, we just talked about them briefly. If these Rams, who are a game out of a wild card right now, get into the postseason, I'll take the Rams in Detroit. Yes, I would. I'd take the Eagles. I'd take the Rams. That's where I'm at right now with this team, and there's still time. I'm not willing to bet on Darnold, I don't think, but there's still time. Green Bay, I think, again, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah.
I could see Green Bay beating them. I'm not buying it. I think he's played with fire too much. I think he's flying too close to the sun.
If they didn't get that 4th down, which it was 4th and 1, they got a 7-yard gain, by the way. Like,
Sure.
He knew what the hell he was doing.
I'm just saying.
If they didn't get it and lost in overtime, I would have loved that.
Really?
Because
to humble him.
Not just that, like game on the line, they would do the same thing in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So he's putting that stress test on his guys now.
Oh, okay.
He's
All
not
right.
going to pull it out of his ass
All
out
right.
of nowhere
Yeah.
and go, season on line, game is on the
Fake
line.
punt. Like, what?
One seed
Yeah.
is on the line in the NFC. They're playing for a lot, home field.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole team knows it. And he looked at the best offense. Like, they are what they are.
Okay.
They have the best offensive line. They're relentless. They're strong. They're mean. They're bullies. They're confident. They don't care. I love that he did that. Stress test, high octane, offense you're facing on the other side, obviously. But like with the entire world watching, because it's on prime time, it'll be in the playoffs. Same thing. Bright stage at home. Everyone's sitting on pins on their chairs watching that. They get 7 effing yards. He knows what he's doing. He's stress testing his team now. If they failed, I would have liked it more. But they're not. The lights are never going to be too bright for this team.
Didn't work out in the NFC title game last season.
The play calls on fourth down, though, were like long passes with Jared Goff. On a 4th and 1, a run play with David Montgomery is much different.
Just saying.
I get it. I see it. 3 spot for me is the Bills.
Okay.
I didn't knock them down.
Okay.
They lost 44-42 to the Rams.
Yeah.
Rams team you like on turf, man. This team's so good. I just put the Bills at 3.
I went Steelers. I completely disagree with your assessment. I actually think this could be a Super Bowl team. I really do.
I don't hate that.
I really do. It's just Russell Wilson. It's Russell Wilson. He's the X factor. He looks like Russell Wilson from Seattle. If he can sustain this, I would not be shocked if the Steelers shock everyone and go to the Super Bowl.
I put the Eagles at 2. They're 11-2. They
Same.
just got by the Panthers, but that defense is so legit. We'll see smoke, fire, Jalen Hurts, A.J.
Yep.
Brown, Brandon Graham. Figure your issue out, man. But this Eagles team is so good.
I agree. I have them at 2. And you talk about that sort of infighting that we're seeing here. Do we trust that Nick Sirianni is a guy that can bring everyone together? No, but hell no.
Yeah.
Something to keep our eye on.
At 1, I have the Lions. They're number 1 in total points. This defense is so damn good. They just figure out a way, even though they let up 31. Just the way that they win, the amount of ways they can kill you. Ahmad-Ra St. Brown kept in check all game. Has a huge catch at the end. That's what they do.
It's what they do.
They have so many guys in so many spots. You can keep them in check, and they'll beat you.
Look, I hate to do this to you. I have the Chiefs, man, at number 1. You
You're
know
gonna
why?
regret it.
They are last in the league in style points. But damn it, man. They just keep winning, and they have Patrick Mahomes. The end. Mahomes and Reed, I can't. I've moved them out of 1 for several weeks. I can't do it anymore. I can't. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. But, man, I don't know how I can't have them at 1.
Because their offensive line stinks.
They keep winning.
Defense isn't that good.
They keep winning.
It's ugly, man. It's going to catch up to them. The same way you think the Lions gambling is going to catch up,
Chiefs.
the way the Chiefs are playing is going to catch up to them. All right, man. So what do you think of the Heisman Trophy finalists? Oregon's Dylan Gabriel, Colorado's Travis Hunter, Boise State's Ashton Jeanty, Miami's Cam Ward. They were announced as a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Ready
Shit
for
the
this?
College football.
Dylan Gabriel, I had a ticket on him to win the Heisman. That ain't going to happen. I haven't thrown it away yet, but I'm going to flush it down the toilet. Ashton Jeanty is a throwback for me to watching, Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma or I remember as a kid like Ron Dane at Wisconsin, Ricky Williams at Texas.
Yeah.
He's in that. Like, he is one of the great – Reggie Bush at USC. He is one – Ashton Jeanty will be my answer when people say, tell me some of the best college players you've seen. Those guys I just named at that position, Ashton Jeanty has played his way into that. That's how good he is. He ain't winning it either. Cam Ward, fantastic.
Carried Miami.
Every school he's been to, he's balled. He gets to Miami. He's carried Miami. The U is not quite back, but Cam Ward's got him closer than they ever been. He ain't winning it either. There is one winner here, and I believe it was over midway through the season. I have never seen anything like Travis Hunter. The closest thing I've seen is Charles Woodson, and he was a gimmick wide receiver. Travis Hunter could play wide receiver every down in the NFL.
Yep.
He could also be a shutdown corner every down in the NFL. We have never seen anything like this. This is why I'm so thrilled and excited. Every week the Patriots lose because I get that much closer to Travis Hunter in a Patriots uniform. Oh, the football gods are shining on us. Come on, Mayo. Keep losing. I know you will. You can't help it. But it's okay. Travis Hunter, come to thee. Go on.
Dude, Travis Hunter right now, 92 catches, over 1,100 yards, and 14 touchdowns. That's 5th in catches, 6th in yards, 2nd in receiving touchdowns in the country, and he's playing a full snap load at cornerback. I get it, what Ashton Jeanty's doing is amazing. He's almost 2,500 rushing yards, tied for the lead in the country with 29 rushing touchdowns alone. Look, and you watch Jeanty's game, 5'10", 220, but great base, great frame, such good balance. You can't get under him. He's like a compact frame, even
right.
at 5'10".
You're right.
But his contact balance, his vision, his patience, love watching him play, love watching him run.
He's a complete
Dude, he
back.
lives on the heels of his offensive linemen, where you normally want running backs with a great first step. It's his second step to me. The first step out of his break gets to a spot like a Le'Veon Bell. That second step, once he identifies where the opening is, and he just goes.
Yep.
But what Travis Hunter's doing as an elite corner, an elite wide receiver, splitting reps in practice, playing a full workload on both sides of the ball. Exactly to your point. But like Charles Woodson, they'll always say that. Desmond Howard when he was a returner. No, Travis Hunter is a wide receiver and a cornerback.
We've never seen
anything. He doesn't play certain downs. And for that, on top of it, and it's not just the numbers he's putting up and leading the nation. He's the reason Colorado is so successful and had the season they did.
Yeah.
Like this Colorado team, Colorado is dead in the waters. Yes, Shador gets a huge crop of credit. I love him. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
I do too.
But Travis Hunter, what he's doing is one of one.
We've never seen it before.
And it's been successful to the team.
Yeah.
If they didn't lose against Kansas, we could be talking about Colorado in the college football playoff.
Here's the scariest thing of all. He's done this his whole life.
Since he doesn't know not playing both sides.
Right. He's done it his whole life.
What do you like more? He's like, I don't know. I do it both. I just like playing football.
You can ask Florida State fans about him, and they'll get the shakes because he committed to Florida State.
Yep, and then flipped to Jackson State.
Deion is Deion, and he went with Deion stole him. Deion flipped him. And then the rest is history. He followed Prime because Prime knows how to utilize that skill set.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job as a coach of that.
Yeah.
But this Travis Hunter guy, we've never seen anything like him. It boggles my mind the people that suggest that the Patriots should not draft.
So what's going on with your right hand?
I don't know. Something's that. I mean, no names, but it's like people that I know and do shows with suggest that maybe an offensive line.
Maybe if you had a good GM that actually hit in free agency, like got you a left tackle, got you a left guard, got you a decent wide receiver too right now.
I won't argue that.
Then you go all the way on Travis Hunter. Maybe they wouldn't be picking at that 3 spot though, but I get you.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey, I love when Travis flipped to Jackson State. I understood how nuts it was. Sure. I didn't understand who he was.
Oh,
thank God he did.
Yeah.
Because thank God he's playing for a coach that has the audacity
that's right.
of a Prime that's going to play him full workload.
That's
he was
right.
with the Mike Norvell. Norvell would be like, no, you're playing corner.
Exactly.
Or you're playing wide receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll work you in packages. It's great for college football. It's great for the sport. It's great for Travis Hunter that he followed Prime, which was a no-brainer for
Smart.
him. He's Travis Hunter. I'm George.
I am. And I love that I've been drafted to the New England Patriots. I will restore us. And George Balekji on Boston has entered the chat. Stop hating on me. I'm out.
He was Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This is Boston has entered the chat.